Hello, my name is Kate Navarro, and this video presentation is for our Global Environmental Health course. Today, we will explore the environmental disaster of lead exposure in Picher, Oklahoma. Our main objective is to understand the narrative history of Picher through data visualization. We will know where Picher, Oklahoma is, the history of lead mining, the extent of contamination, and the health consequences and aftermath. In this presentation, we will see history, chronological events, maps of Picher highlighting lead contamination, a graph showing lead levels over time, and the impact on Picher's residents, and finally, the summary. To start, let's do a brief rundown of Picher's history, which indeed is a town built on lead. Picher is found in far northeastern Oklahoma, on the border of Oklahoma and Kansas. The town developed in late 1913 around the lead and zinc ore found in the area. It was named for O.S. Picher, owner of the Picher Lead Company. Picher became incorporated in March 1918. In 1920, the population was 9,726 during the boom of mining. Over half of the lead and zinc used in World War I came from Picher. 1891 is the first ore discovery. The earliest mining operations in Ottawa County occurred in the vicinity of Peoria. And in early 1900s, Picher was founded. As the mining continued nearby, the next major ore discovery was in 1913. Picher, Oklahoma was established as a mining town focused on lead and zinc extraction. During the 1920s to 1930s, unregulated mining and rising of health concerns. Mining activities reached their peak around 1925, but with limited safety standards. Lead contamination begins to spread. 1940s to 1960s, continued contamination. Despite awareness, lead contamination worsens as mining remains the town's economic focus. 1970s to 1980s. Mining decline and peak contamination. Mines gradually shut down. Lead pollution is at its worst. EPA declares Picher a Superfund Site in 1983. During the 1990s, evacuation started. Residents are relocated due to extreme environmental hazards. Picher's population decreases. 2010 to 2020. Picher became a ghost town. Linderman, a pharmacist, called himself the last man standing, until his death in 2015, that led to the closing of his pharmacy in a town with no one left. Presently, ongoing cleanup. Picher remains a ghost town. Efforts to remediate the area and contain lead contamination continue. Figure 1 shows us the locations of the Tri-State Mining District, TSMD, which consists of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri states. For Figure 2, blue dots signifies the mining fields. And Picher was the most productive mining fields in the Tri-State Lead and Zinc District. Figure 3 shows us the satellite imagery shows areas with mining sites. The white areas in the picture clustering near Picher, Oklahoma, in the Tar Creek Superfund Site. Figure 4 shows us a photo of the town of Picher, which shows mounds of toxic chat piles. Figure 5 shows a graphical representation illustrating the process of contamination stemming from mining facility waste seeping into the soil, thereby exposing lead to animals, water sources, and airborne particles carried by wind, affecting farming activities and the health and well-being of local residents. Figure 6 shows us the percentage of lead level elevations that shows that among tested children living in the Tar Creek Superfund Site, aged 1 to 5 years, the percentage declined from 1995 to 2003. Figure 7 and Figure 8 shows us the percentage and the pie chart of metal concentration in the Tri-State Mining District. The aftermath. Decades of mining activity resulted in the accumulation of chat, a byproduct consisting of finely ground lead-contaminated waste material. Chalk piles grew around the town and contaminated water leached from abandoned mine shafts. Residents, unaware of the health hazards, unknowingly incorporated chat into their yards and even children's play areas. Birds like the brown thrasher, cardinal, and robin may ingest lead by consuming contaminated soil or food. The slug tends to accumulate on the soil's surface. Health concerns are exacerbated among low-income and minority populations, particularly Native Americans who live predominantly in the mining districts. The miners during the mining boom, wherein more than 14,000 men who worked in the mines at the Picher field alone, were far more prone to silicosis, tuberculosis, lung cancer, and liver failure than the average person. Even after the mining stopped in the 1960s, the younger generations were most at risk of adverse health outcomes. Exposure to lead can cause children damage to the brain and nervous system, slowed growth and development, learning and behavior problems, and hearing and speech problems, according to CDC. A 2006 federal study showed that 159 homes, businesses, and public buildings in Picher were in danger of being caved in due to significant undermining, according to the Oklahoman. More than 200 families relocated over the next 2 years, thanks to money from the federal government. The federal buyout process was completed and the town ceased municipal operations in 2009. In summary, Picher, Oklahoma is a haunting example of how unchecked resource extraction can turn a thriving community into a ghost town. Its story is deeply tied to lead contamination, a legacy that continues to cast a long shadow. The decline of the town serves as a reminder of the critical significance of environmental conservation. The ongoing Superfund cleanup efforts represent a complex and long-term undertaking. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a lot of new things today.